Well, thank you for coming to the show today.
Thank
2
you
days
for
in a row. I
having me.
just met you yesterday.
Yep.
And now you're here in my office.
I know, I'm stoked on it.
You know, how was it actually having to come and shoot not a multi-million-dollar house yesterday?
It was really weird. Normally I come to the shoots and then come back to my house and feel like my house looks like a piece of crap. But it was cool to go to a different place and get a different slate.
I know. I always make fun of Peter because I always go like, yo, why do my houses never get on your Instagram page? What the heck, dude? Can't you post my stuff? And he's like, no. I'm like, thanks, dude.
It was definitely a different scenery, but
Yeah.
I felt more relaxed since it was like my first shoot where he gave me the camera and said, go for it.
Thanks a lot, Peter. You trust him out on my
It was like
project.
my second one. It was my second one, but I wasn't used to like an audience staring at me while I'm doing it, and I got really nervous. Like the first picture was like, oh my god, everyone's gonna be looking at me the whole time. But
And we have a camera on you.
yeah, but then I thought I went back to like rock climbing, and there's like always like so many people watching you, and there's always people taking pictures, and I went into like that mindset, and I was like, okay, they're not here. I got this.
Oh, so why don't you let everyone know who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Sage. I'm a photographer. I've been working with Peter doing some real estate photography. Before that, I was doing yoga photography, more like fitness photography. I'm super into fitness. I'm a rock climber. Have been for about 3 years. I'm just super into fitness and what the body can do for you. So I enjoy doing fitness photography. But I wanted to find a way to be more, photography be more a primary income. And so I kind of just went around with the ideas of how to do so. And then I got connected with Peter, and I'm in love with real estate photography. I thought it would be, honestly, so boring. But my mind, I'm super OCD. I like to like line things up and have things symmetrical. And like the coolest thing about real estate photography is I have to line up these lines, and it's like it really is helpful for my OCD. I get to like line up things and make things equal, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun to do that. So I didn't think I'd be having so much fun with it, but I am.
I think that's funny that, you know, obviously you're a photographer, and it's interesting how I feel like the theme of the last few podcasts I've done where, you know, before the podcast you were telling me that, you know, you made this transition into photography because of COVID. It kind of forced you into it. And it's interesting, the one podcast I did before this, she's starting a new career because of COVID. This podcast room has started because of COVID. Adam Wright, the owner of Animal House Fitness, he had to change his game because of COVID. There is some positive that has come from this. So what was the reasoning on and finally going deep into photography when COVID hit?
I have always been like a survivor, like, okay, this isn't working, move on, let's go. And so I worked at a yoga studio and a restaurant. Both got shut down immediately, and I knew they weren't going to open up for quite a while. So I had to get creative. I live on my own. I always have lived on my own and provide for myself, and there's just no option of failure. It's just I got to figure out next means to make things work. So I had a degree in photography, and it was about time to use it, and I knew I'd never get this opportunity again. And quite honestly, I've kind of just been half-assing it for a long time, and it was just time to take it serious. And so I did it, and honestly, COVID was like the best time for me to just kind of reevaluate what was important to me. I started listening to a ton of podcasts, started listening to audiobooks. I know you've got your stack of books. I'm not a reader. I'd rather go for a run and put an audiobook on. When I'm running, I kind of can think a little bit better and process things better. So I started doing like self-improvement audiobooks, listening to podcasts about like improving yourself, about entrepreneurs, trying to constantly be feeding my mind my goals and surrounding myself with people that had the same goals and intentions as I did. And I thought eventually something's got to work, you know? So I just kept going at it in that way, and it inspired me and pushed me, and now I'm where I was hoping to be. So yeah, that's kind of how that started.
Yeah, it's funny. It's every person I have in here that's doing something epic in life or makes a change, it's all the same thing. I hope people are starting to pick this up. It's all who they surround themselves with, what are you consuming every single day, getting out of your comfort zone. And I hope that if you watch these podcasts, you're starting to pick up that's the key. There's no secret sauce to this. And so, you talk about rock climbing. If you're on video, you can see her hands. They're more manly than my hands will ever be. And so what was the passion that kind of got you into rock climbing?
Oh, I could talk for hours about that. I got into climbing because I was anorexic. I was really sick for a year and I almost died. And I was 80 pounds and I went through treatment, decided to get better. And then I reevaluated what fitness, what health meant to me. And I got into the sport of climbing because it was about like what your body could do for you and not so much like trying to get an unrealistic body, like the kind of images at the gym or what Instagram feeds you. And so I fell in love with that concept. And then the hard work that came with it of, you really do start off not being able to even get up a V0. So it goes from like V0 to V10 for bouldering is what I do. And I liked that there was this like, okay, you go up to this level. Like there's actual physical proof of improvement. And mentally I needed that. And it just helped me. Climbing really helped me get more disciplined. And I think it gave me more confidence in myself, especially as a female, having a sport like that. Where I just feel powerful and my body is, the only thing that's getting me up there. So I got into it after that and I never went back to the gym or anything like that. I just absorbed myself into climbing, started doing it 4 times a week. I'd always wanted to do some sport. Like I used to ride dirt bikes. I wanted to do that like competitively, but never got to. So this was my time to finally take something serious, stick with it. And I think the main thing for climbing is that I stuck with it and I finally saw a result. Like, to be honest, I think I've had a hard time committing to things in my life. And I finally committed to something and went full on at it. And now I look back and I'm good at it. Like, I improved. Like, it's amazing what I was able to do coming from 80 pounds to now. I got some muscle,
You're more jacked than I am. I'm kind of nervous. That's why I'm wearing longer sleeves right now. I wish I was wearing a jacket. I know, seriously.
No, I'm always showing my arms, man. I worked hard for it, and like it did not come easy to me at all. Like, especially how my body had just been trying to recover from, eating itself away. Yeah. So
do you strive because of, obviously that's something that some girls talk about, that it's something you're always going to fight. Do you try to stay off of social media because it's so damaging?
I try to stay on it more and tell people about it. I at least once a week am trying to expose myself that like, I had an eating disorder. A lot of people, not only in general, but like the climbing community, for example, so many men struggle with it, but nobody talks about it, especially the men. So I think if I just keep
Why? Because they need to stay lighter so they can climb easier?
Yeah, essentially the lighter we are, the easier it is for us to get up the rock. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people struggle with eating disorders, and finally it's being talked about. We have a few people that are bigger climbers that are well-known that are starting to talk about it. But yeah, it is a huge issue in the community and in general, but social media still is hard for me. Like women are posting these pictures that are completely unrealistic. I really enjoy when women were like, when I'm posing and then when I'm not. And it's like, oh, she looks like me. And, like we need to do more of that. So I'm constantly trying to, put it out there that I did have an eating disorder and to talk to me. Mm-hmm. Like I've had a few people reach out to me just for that. And if I could just help one person by being transparent about it, it's all worth it. You know, like we go through these things in life to help others. And I have a lot that I've gone through in a very short period of time, and I'm stoked on it. Like it was fuel. Like I'm the lucky one. Going through all these problems in life, these struggles. I just lost my dad a couple of years ago. That was all fuel to keep me to like keep pushing and motivating. Like I feel like some people who haven't had a lot of trials in life have a hard time finding that gas to like push in life, mm-hmm. And I think that's my biggest inspiration is everything I've been through. I want to succeed that much more, you know?
Like they say, you're never given anything you can't truly handle.
Yeah, exactly. And I truly think I can handle a lot, and I realize that I'm definitely not a victim.
It's interesting that, obviously, even for a man, I hope people realize that, like when you see certain bodies online, even in the men community, that what people don't realize is like Photoshop, supplements, steroids. Like they're just things that are I tell people all the time, I don't live on Instagram. I live my life and I share it on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's, a lot of people reach out to me and go, dude, what do I post on social? I'm like, I just live my life and I share it. I'm not trying to put that perfect photo up there. I actually don't want the photo or video to be perfect because that's not my real life. It's like we were talking about the house we just shot. Yeah. There's a lot of flaws in that house. 4K is not going to be great for this house, but you know what? That's the house. Yeah. And it is what it is, and someone's going to walk in this weekend, and they're going to love it, or they're going to see the potential like you did. And I think that's the thing. It's like that's real life. There was one time Peter photoshopped grass on a house. I said, dude, you got to change that. And he goes, why? I'm like, because when someone shows up, there's no grass, or the grass is half dead, they're going to be like, dude, it's not.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, like that's not what it is. And I think that's the thing that people don't realize with social media. Like what you see is not reality. And the moment you realize that, you live better lives that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Before I got into climbing and before during my anorexia, I posted the most perfect pictures, and that was so not me. I'm a hot mess. I gotta show that more, I live a crazy life. But you saying you don't have to post a perfect picture, I'm thinking even now maybe I think a little too much about my climbing photos.
Oh, for sure. I will say this. You for sure do. Your Instagram is it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm a little OCD with it, I'm like, I'll look at the layout and I'm like, but does this fit the page? And I'm like, oh, hearing you right now, I'm like, maybe I overthink that one a little bit too much.
It'd be a great photo or video of you falling.
I would love to do that.
You know what I mean?
A lot of that.
You on your back. And someone taking a photo of you on your back.
Maybe I'll do a little reel of just me constantly trying. I mean, the falls that we make sometimes are absolutely ridiculous. We're falling more than we're doing anything else.
That's life.
Oh yeah, it's great. I love it.
Like you said, and it's awesome that you found something that kind of relates to life, right? What people don't realize is that successful people, and I've made this comment, I've gotten some backlashes. I lose more deals than you'll do in 1 year. And people go, what do you mean by that? It's I'm like, I hear more failures and no's than you do, but I show up every day. I don't let it stop me. So just like climbing, the reason I've never gone to climbing because I'd be afraid of falling. And so. Oh,
I'm still scared, we'll get to the top. I'm still having a hard time with high balls, you know. The mental game is just it's unreal. And I don't do rope or anything like that.
I know, you free climb.
Yeah. I mean,
some chalk and a little mat and you're good to go.
It's so simple.
Yeah, you just show up and go. So sorry, my pizza just showed up.
He's ready for his pizza.
I'm starving right now.
Stop it if the pizza comes.
I'm so hungry right now. So for you, you got into photography. I will say you probably didn't realize how lucky you are, but Peter Tran is the best photographer in the world, hands down, in general. And he's so easy to get along with. And your style, he's an outdoor guy. Me and him mountain bike together. So what are some of the things, the challenges you've been facing going into a new industry? Because there's going to college for photography, but getting in the game and realizing I have to take this photo, and people are going to be looking at this photo to try to sell this multi-million-dollar house. And if this photo's not right, they're calling us. Yep. So how have you processed this the last few months?
Well, first off, I do feel so incredibly blessed for Peter. He has taken me under his wing and been so kind to me. And
one of the nicest guys in the world, I'll tell you.
Oh my gosh, seriously. I'm like, is this real? This guy is just here to help me. And he's he thinks he's an awful teacher. And he's always like, I'm sorry if I'm being too honest but I'm good with that. He's been so nice and so patient with me. And I truly owe the success of how I've gotten so much better at it because of him. But how I handled it was, I've never done real estate photography, and it is totally different. Technique is different. Everything is different. But I came into it allowing and accepting that I didn't know anything and that I had everything to learn. And I'm literally, Peter's better than college, Yeah. You can't pay for this. This is an opportunity that will never come again. And I knew if I didn't take this 100%, I would, one, beat myself up for it and never get this opportunity again. So there was no option of failing. There was no option of not picking up on it. I want to be better than Peter. I will be better than Peter.
There you go.
Peter's gonna make me better than him. Watch out.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, and I've talked to Peter about this for the last. He wants that. That's the crazy thing, and that's why Peter's so great. Is that he's trying to teach you to become better than him.
Yeah,
and that's how you should do it.
It's amazing, and finances have actually been what has been stopping me the most. He had even said, like, some of these things he can't teach, and I've got the eye, and I do have talent in this. I feel weird saying that, but like, I need to be more confident in that I am good at what I do, and I have taken the time to learn what I'm doing. But yeah, finances have kind of gotten in the way. I've been getting by with the photo equipment I have for what I do, sports photography and everything, but real estate requires a little bit more of an updated camera, more equipment that I didn't have. And obviously with COVID this year, I didn't make the most income this year. So the biggest thing is just getting enough finances to get all of the equipment.
For sure. I mean, it's even like for us, like we've bought cheaper cameras, and then it's like, I gotta buy another set of camera, or one of these cameras broke like maybe like a few months ago, to buy a new one. I was like, oh my god. But even sometimes for us too, where it's just like another lens, another mic, another this, another that. It never ends.
They're so expensive.
And
I'm like, 1,000? Really? Okay.
I know. I try not to even look anymore, because I'm just like, okay, like let me. And that's the thing too, is why I think we are very our clients are allowed to use all this stuff, right? Because I know that there's a lot of people that want to do podcasts. We have a group that comes in Tuesday nights to do podcasts. We have people coming in tomorrow to use the podcast room, because financially, it's not really make sense to spend $5,000-$6,000 or have a room to do it in for one podcast every few months. Like, it doesn't make sense, So I understand that pain, because we've even thought about, even our cameras are not as good as Peter's. Like, we have our Sony 86-500, but it's only it's not a full sensor. It's only a half sensor.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll try to take a photo. I'm like, this isn't good as Peter's.
And
Adrian's like, well, yeah, because he has full frame. I say, Adrian, I know my stuff. I know why it's not. It's like, it's bothering me. So for you, like, you're now into real estate. But when things open back up, are you going to try to go back to doing yoga, or are you like, screw it, I'm out, I'm straight into real estate?
Oh, dude, let me tell you about my life right now. Right as I was like getting it with Peter, all of a sudden they decided to open up all the restaurants like overnight. And I was like, no, I needed like one more month. Like, please don't. So I decided I got to hustle it right now. So right now I'm working with Peter as much as possible. I think I average like 3 shoots a week with him that I shadow. And that's like usually in the morning. And I also train really a lot for rock climbing. So I'll go home, train, and then I'll go work at the restaurant at night. And then I just got asked to go back to the yoga studio, and I accepted that as well. So I'm going to be juggling the restaurant, the yoga, and that, and then also trying to build my side photography, doing like sports photography. I've got a lot of clients that I always work with monthly. So I'm going to be juggling all of that. It's going to be kind of a shit show of a month, and I'm ready for it, because that restaurant job is the lens I need, and the yoga job is the camera I need. And I'm just going to, build myself up and work hard now, and it'll all pay off. I know it will. And it's just a short period of time where it's going to maybe suck a little bit, but it really doesn't. Like, I'm good at organizing. I got my planner. I know how to, I've always had more than 2 jobs my entire life. Like, I've been working since I was 15. Like, this isn't new to me. So there's phases in life where I'm, working a ton and juggling 3 jobs. There's been times where I then, just keep one and I just chill for a little bit. So I'm used to this, and I can do it. The goal's there. The vision's there. I just got to hustle for a minute, and it'll be fine. The restaurant life's hard, though.
See, I think it is. I've never really had a job before, so I've never been on a job interview in my whole life.
Really? I kill it at the interviews, man.
I don't even have a resume.
Really?
100%. I never made one in my life.
Man, that's pretty awesome. I wish I had that.
Can you imagine that? When I have kids one day, they're like, how do I make a resume? I have no idea. Never done it before.
That's such a useful thing, too.
I have no idea.
That's one thing they don't teach kids in school.
Literally, I remember when I got fired from my last career, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a resume. So what am I going to
And look at you now.
I know, right?
It goes to show, though, you don't need school.
Nope.
You don't need any of that.
I went to college for 2 years, and I would take enough classes to get free insurance through my dad's job, and I'd drop them.
Oh, hell yeah, that's genius.
So I'd walk in, get them all sign off. I'd figure out how long I have to stay in those classes until I got my insurance, and then I would stop showing up.
That's smart.
But you know what's crazy is when college is open back up, I think I'm going to go back to college.
Really?
I think I'm going to start going back to RCC and take one class that I'm really interested in, maybe economics, something, and I'm just going to go to the teacher and say, listen, I'm never going to do any homework. Don't ever call on me. I'm just here to listen. And if I don't show up, great. If I do, great. And I'm a very successful real estate agent in this town. I just kind of want to learn more stuff.
Dude, that's actually pretty cool. I think that's what I do when I'm listening to podcasts and stuff like that. We constantly need to be learning, and we need to constantly be growing.
Well, that's the problem too, is like, that's why I made that goal this year to read 45 books, because I used to read a lot, and I know mentally I was better. Like mentally, I stopped wasting time watching YouTube and nonsense, right? So I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm like forcing myself, and I hate reading. I'm a terrible reader.
Same.
Terrible reader. And so like I'm forcing myself to do it, and that's why I put that on the board, where it's like, okay, like, and it's crazy how easy it is to get off track. Like I haven't read a book. I knocked out like 5 books, like boom, 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 and now like I've gone probably like 4 or 5 days without reading, and I'm like, okay, I gotta.
Oh no, 4 or 5 days.
I know, right?
4 or 5 years for me, dude.
Dude, well, here's the thing. You know, I never read a book all through high school or college.
Really, I did.
I never read a
then.
book. Never wrote a book.
Only because I had to.
No, never did. I hacked my way to figure out how to get around it.
Never read a book. I always did the movies. You know, like. Oh, there's a movie for it, solid. I got it. The
few times when I wasn't sure what I was going to do in life, and I was actually going to college for like one semester, I remember taking was it economic class? It was something with like politics or something. I never had a book. And the professor's like, okay, you're going to write 3 essays this year. I'm like, okay. They're like, do you have a book? I'm like, nope.
They're too expensive.
And they're like, how are you going to do this? And I pulled it off.
There is always a way.
There's always a way.
I'm going to have to say it. Like, college is just the art of bullshitting.
100%.
You can totally, like, especially in art. I was, like, at a moment, I'm like, oh, I get it. You just bullshit and you're good, you know? Just know how to talk the game.
It's called life.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just the way that you talk and interact with people that really matters, you know?
It's almost like college or schooling in general. You just need to be like, okay, this class is you just sit in a room and you just have to talk to people that you don't know.
Yeah.
Go.
That's actually the best thing I got out of college. It wasn't like the actual knowledge I got out of it. I don't think I should have gone to college. I just didn't know what to do.
For sure.
But I experienced life, you know? Like, I was such a good kid. Like, I never did anything bad. So I lived a little bit.
Put your hair down a little bit?
I did. Had little shots of tequila, you know? I got to, oh, man, no, tequila's my way.
Dude, seriously.
I can't drink anything else but tequila.
Oh, my God, dude.
But it's been a year now since I've had a drink.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really, like, care to drink that much. I'm all about, like, health, and it seems weird to put poison in my body.
For sure.
So last time I drank was my birthday, which my birthday is now this Sunday, Valentine's Day.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, let's do it. I'm going to break the seal. It's been 1 year, you know?
I just my problem is I never say no to a good time, right?
Oh, so I like that.
I am the master of saying yes. I have ended up on the strip in Vegas. Like, I've had people call me like, yo, what are you doing tonight? Nothing. And this is a long time ago. This is when I was still living with my parents. They're like, what are you doing? Nothing. Hey, listen, I got one free night at the Tropicana tonight. You down? Yeah, when are you going to give me? We're on our way to your house now.
Yes.
Cool. And then my parents would call me like, where are you? It's like 12:30. And I'm like, I'm on the strip. And they're like, where? I'm like, in Vegas. They're like, we just saw you. We left the house. You were here, and now you're in Vegas? Yes. I never say no to anything.
You know, I love that.
I'm Mr. Yes.
I love that. I really am starting to be like that. I get, like, more timid and scared sometimes, or, you know, not wanting to be, like, uncomfortable. And I've only received, like, the biggest benefits from putting myself in uncomfortable situations. And now I'm all about it. Like, coming to this, like, a few years ago, I'd be like, oh, hell no. Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
But now you asked me if I was nervous, and, like, I was a little bit. But, like, more so I'm like, this is exciting. It's new. It's different. I love the adrenaline rush. Yeah. That's how climbing, I think, has helped me be more outgoing.
See, I don't like staying at home either, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I hate being at home. Like, honestly, like, if it wasn't for my dogs, I would never be home.
You have dogs.
I have 2 corgis.
Oh my god, I want a dog so bad.
They're the greatest things in this world.
Except
except they like take up all the space in the bed. I have a king size bed. One sleeps on one side of me. The other one sleeps on the other side of me. I get like this much
and then
space.
You can't move.
I can't move.
So cute.
And I want to wake them up. You know what I mean? I feel like a jerk.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, no, I can't stay at home for the life of me. When quarantine first hit.
Oh, it was a big struggle for me.
Same.
I was drinking a lot. Because I couldn't go meet with anyone. I couldn't see anyone. And when you're someone who's always on the go, and then someone tells you stop, and you're not used to stopping, and it's been so long since you stopped. Even when I first started this career, I would always tell people I would never take long showers. People say, why? And I said, the moment I stop, I start thinking about everything that's going wrong or can go wrong. That's why I never stop moving.
Oh man, you're actually very similar to me because I'm the exact same way. It is hard to slow me down.
I can't slow down.
I pack my day. I have my planner. I make sure the day is packed with things. And yeah, when COVID hit and I lived by myself, I was like,
too.
Yeah, dude, I was like, one, have I ever been in my house during the daylight? Like, wow, this is what my house looks like. I mean, I went through a little bit of depression.
It's depression.
Oh, for sure.
And that's the thing that scares me that people don't understand is like, I'm pretty mentally strong. And if I'm feeling it, I couldn't imagine someone who was already like on the verge going into COVID had some mental issues. And then why are we shocked that suicides and alcohol abuse and drug abuse is up?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing that other people need to realize is like alcohol and drugs and whatever, like I don't care who you are, women, whatever, men, whatever you want to do. It's just a distraction of where you're at. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That's all it is. That's why like, you know, that's the thing. If you start distracting yourself with other things, then you just start spiraling out of control.
I think that's why I was like, I'm not going to drink this year. I've never had a problem with anything like that. I just don't really do that stuff. But I even more so didn't want to during that time. I wanted to embrace that I mean, I was grieving my dad pretty hardcore then. And like how I escaped was with people. Like I'm an extrovert, like to the extreme. Like I need people. Really, I would have thought the opposite.
I'm an introvert. 100%.
Oh no! I'm like, if I don't, I'm like, if someone talk to me, you know, like I was zooming people.
I'm the opposite. Don't talk to me.
Oh no, man! Yeah. I'm like, you can't get me to stop talking. That's like the worst part about me. But when it hit, I was like, I'm zooming everybody.
Yeah.
I really embraced that depression and like I distracted myself. I realized I was so busy because I was distracting myself from things I wasn't dealing with. So I like had a fresh like slate. I got to figure out how to make myself happy and not rely on anybody else. And it's a good development.
Do you think that's a flaw I feel like women do it more than men, that they lean on a relationship so much, and that's why a lot of women are never single? It's because they lean on men so much because they don't want to face whatever issues, or they're so scared about being alone. And I think that's why girls post those photos on Instagram that are edited, because they just want gratification so bad from someone else because they have no confidence.
Validation.
That's a validation, yeah.
I will say I have met men that are the exact same way.
Oh, 100%. I'm a chick, dude. I have a muffin top right now. I can't wait. I need to start working out again. No, not get it.
Get it.
We're doing a 12-week. I'm doing a 12-week transformation with a guy who's a personal trainer, and he runs a nonprofit. I'm gonna donate money for every pound of or every percentage of body fat I lose.
Oh, dude, that's sick. Come climbing with me. You'll burn calories so quickly.
I already mountain bike. I rode 20 miles the other day.
Well, it's different.
My problem is dieting. I like literally like I have a pizza waiting for me.
That's where I'm good at. I love home. I meal prep every Monday. No, I make all my meals, but you don't have to sacrifice. Like people think like you don't get to have like good food if you eat healthy. Try my food. Like there's a good balance, you know? And I eat dessert every day. People think because I'm in shape and I like to eat healthy that I don't like to eat dessert.
What's your go-to dessert?
Brownies. I love brownies. I will eat any brownie that there is. Like the more like chocolate frosting, there's got to be chocolate chips in it.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
But no, I have dessert every night. I have a bowl of ice cream usually every night.
What's your go-to ice cream?
I like Halo Top. I know it's like that. I know. I do have stomach problems. So I have IBS and colitis. So I have to kind of play around with that. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like brownies, cookies, I get the real damn thing.
Yeah.
You know, like my friends and I went to Red Rocks recently and I made a big sheet of brownies and got like caramel ice cream on top of it. Like that's how I treat myself for sure. But going back to women and needing relationships, I feel like that might have been me quite a long time in my life. But recently, during COVID, I worked on myself completely. Man, I don't know if I have a small head or what. This thing is sliding off.
That's literally the last girl that says the same thing. Adrian, can we get girl headphones? We need to get girl headphones.
Oh my goodness, I have tiny ears too.
Yeah, we got to get girl headphones moving forward.
But I was like that. I did, feel like I needed somebody, and then during COVID, I was like, okay, what makes me happy? Mm-hmm. How can I be okay by myself? And then, dude, I fell in love with myself. I'm like, I'm dope. Like, I'm okay about myself. And more so, I'd prefer it right now. Like, I'm crushing it.
Time to focus.
Yeah, I was like, oh, eye on the prize. Yeah. I know what I want. I know what I need. Kind of don't want to be bothered with, like, I like my routine right now. I like my Netflix and my bowl of ice cream right now. Like, no one needs to interrupt that. Mm-hmm. I really was okay with being by myself. And I think then you can allow to have a healthy relationship.
For sure. I think people always ask me, they're like, and I'm like, I've come to terms, like, if you have to be worth me losing out on my goals. Because I know, like, a relationship is going to take me away from what I'm trying to do, right? And so it's like, what if that person's worth me losing something? And also have my goals, but you can't say that you're not going to dial it back a little bit, because you want to be a good partner in a relationship. So if it's not, so when people go, why don't you date a lot? I'm like, because if I don't feel that you're worth me not reaching what I want to reach, then I'll just regret you, and what's the point of that?
Yeah, and I'm not.
I don't need to be with
time.
you. I don't need someone to be with me. I'm pretty self-efficient now.
That's the best feeling ever. Mm-hmm. Like and especially as a female, and just losing my dad and not having like that male support. I think it was so important for me to realize that and be good at, like, I don't have to, like, pick anyone. I can be picky as I want.
Dude, okay, I'm going to say this. I was going to say this in the last podcast. So the last podcast we had, check it out. We'll put it right here, she's a life coach for moms. So she's teach kids, and a lot of moms would come to her for advice, and she's like, moms need so much support because they don't know anyone to reach into. Listen, women, okay, if you're a young woman watching this, do you realize the power that you have in today's society? Literally, like, I'm gonna go rant now because I've watched this all the time. Women in this world today, 2021, you can have anyone and everyone you want. If you're in a shitty relationship, break up with that freaking person, put single on Facebook, put single on Instagram, or if you want to go Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, whatever you want, Match.com, you will have someone tomorrow that's better than who you are that you just left. So stop worrying about if you're scared being single. Seriously. Like, it mind blows me. Get your shit together. Get yourself right. Get healthy. Get your job. Get your career. You'll find a winner.
There's nothing more sexier than that.
I'm just saying, like, it bothers me so freaking much when I see women that are not confident in themselves. Because you know why you're not confident? Because you're with the bad dude who's telling you you're worthless. Didn't you get that? You are who you surround yourself with. Yep. So you got to get away from that person. You are the shit. And I'm telling you now, there is some guy out there that will worship the ground you walk on. It's so true.
Yeah.
And you know what? You got to start dialing back what you think is important. Listen, he might not be a fucking 8. He might not have a 6-pack. He might not be a badass. He might not think that, whatever. But I'll tell you what, he'll worship the fucking ground you walk on. And you will have an amazing life. And too many women have this image of what they're looking for, and they miss out on the guy that will give them the actual great life.
Damn movies and everything.
Sorry, I've been wanting to get that out on a podcast, and this one finally works. But it literally, like, blows my mind.
No, I appreciate you saying
Seriously,
that.
It is literally, if I could shake so many women that are around me, where I'm like, you have the pickings. In this day and age, you literally have the pickings. Why don't you realize that?
No, women hold a lot of power that we don't use.
You don't even use it.
No.
Put your fucking foot down.
Yeah.
Right? And there's 2 things, all right? I'm going to give another wife, we're on a women trainer now, so I'm going to give you women a tip. Listen, we are who we are. Men don't change. Even though you want us to change, we ain't changing. Yeah. So if you start dating us, date us who we are now, not who you think we're going to be in the future. Step number 1. Step number 2, you have 2 choices. Get over it or leave them.
Yeah.
That's the 2 choices. Because that's how I treat. I'm going to get over it. If it's a big enough deal, I'm just going to leave, or I'm just going to get over it. That means it's not that big of a deal. Because bitching about it, they ain't changing. I'm not changing. I'm 33 years old. I'm going to be the same person I am when I'm 63 years old.
Stop wasting your time.
Stop trying to change us.
Yeah.
We're not going to change. And you know what? Go find someone. Best advice one of my past clients gave me, who handles, or she retired, but she would be the Riverside County person that handled all divorces, mediation. She said, Adam, you want the best advice ever I could ever give you? Great. And this is when I just got being engaged. She goes, when you're young, you marry the opposite. You want exciting. Then when you're older, you want the same. You want the person that's a clean freak. You want the person that has a schedule.
Yes, I'm a clean freak.
You want the person that's not freaking late, right? You don't want to be vegan and them love meat, right? It doesn't work, right? So stop trying to think it's this like exciting life and there's going to be like, dude,
you called it. You called it though.
Seriously.
You really do have to just like you get this image out of your head.
It's not it's this image of fireworks and this
Yes.
image of he's gonna change one day. No, he's not. Or she's not gonna change. Listen, my ex-fiance, love her to death still. We still talk. She's the greatest person, one of the greatest people in my life. If she called me right now, I would dip out and help her in a second. She's awesome, right? We're just not meant to be together because she's the same person she was 5 years ago, and I'm the same person I was 5 years ago.
Didn't work then, it's not gonna
Didn't
work
work
now.
then, it's not gonna work now.
Yep.
So that's what people, women, just start realizing you have so much freaking power. And if you're single or if you're young and attractive and you have a job and you're with a shitty dude, fucking stop. Because you literally are the currency in this market.
Just try it for like a month. Just do your thing.
Oh my God.
Improve your health. Improve everything. And watch, they all come to you. They all want you. Like,
That's pretty the reason I'm probably single, because I'm not chasing girls, sorry.
See, that's your problem.
Listen, I have a 2-strike rule for a reason, all right? The best 2-strike of all time. So if you break my 2-strike rule, it doesn't work.
What's the 2-strike rule?
Oh, you ready for the 2-strike rule?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Greatest 2-strike rule.
Is this what men are like?
No. Every woman wishes every man had the 2-strike rule.
Okay.
It would make your lives so much easier, okay? 2-strike rule is if I reach out to you, text or phone call, and then you reach back to me and I reach back out to you, it lands on you, right? Strike one. I will reach out one more time to you, goes back, forth. If it lands back on you again, right, I'm done. I will never reach out to you again.
Oh, that's so smart. I feel like some men,
they keep trying and trying and trying. Listen, no one's that busy.
No.
If she wants to talk to you, she'll let you know.
Trust me, I'm busy as hell.
No one's busy.
If I like somebody,
100%.
I will make the time for you. And if I haven't, I'm not that into you.
And so when they're just texting you back because one, they want attention, or two, they just don't want to be rude.
Oh yeah. Oh, Instagram plays into this. That's what I hate. Now you can erase messages. You can, it's just the social media has set it up to have like a fucked up relationship.
100%.
To be kind of wishy-washy, talking to all these different people on the DM.
It's too much distraction.
Why are guys slipping into my DM all the time like, oh, yo, like...
And here's the thing. If they're doing that, they don't got nothing going on.
No.
Right? If they got time to sit there, if they have time to sit there and DM you all the time, they don't have a job.
Yes.
Right? So, trust me, they don't.
I love when a guy's like, yeah, I don't really like texting that much.
I'm a worst texter in the worst.
That's a good sign.
I'm the worst texter in the world. You know why? Because one, I don't like reading text messages. I'd rather call you because I'd rather send a 2-minute phone call instead of 20 texts. Two, I'm super sarcastic, so that doesn't always come out great in text messages.
Yeah, no, I'd be like, oh, fuck this
guy. This guy's like an asshole,
yeah,
right?
For sure.
So, anyways, we got a little side note here. This is great for young people that need to see relationships. I'm telling you, like, finally, I'm happy I got that off my chest.
I'm glad you did too. It needs to get out there.
It does need to get out there, and that's the thing is that it's just like I'm 30. I was 28 when I started over. I'm still super young, and if I have to start over tomorrow, I'll start over tomorrow. And if I have to start over at 40, I'll start over at 40. If I start over at 50, my grandpa lived until he was 92 years old, right? So you still got 42 more years. It's never too late.
No, it's really not.
It's never too late. Perfect example. Look at her, freaking starting over, having crazy things happen to you, more things than most, and look at positive, working her ass off in a podcast room with some guy she just met.
Dude, I'm amped on it. I think I like doing podcasts.
See, I'm telling you, it gets you all fucking fired up.
Yeah.
So why don't you leave some advice on some women? I put out there that I want to talk to powerful women, and definitely you are definitely on that level of a powerful woman. What's some advice you can give to something that you wish someone had told you when you were going through your hard times?
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I think own your worth, know what you're worth, put out your goals out there. Have high expectations for yourself. Don't date for a little bit. That really is what guys can be the worst and best thing for you, but really you've got to take a minute. I think every woman struggles with diving into one relationship to the next to, cover issues that you're having or feel needed or feel beautiful. Like, learn how to feel beautiful from yourself. Like, love your body, respect your body, everything before ever getting into a relationship. And now is the best time more than ever. It's kind of hard to date right now, with COVID and everything like that. Use this time for your advantage. You have an excuse not to date right now. It's weird. I don't want to wear a mask. Also, can I put it out there that, a guy can look cute and he's got, half of his face covered and he takes his mask off and you're like, what? But use this time to just focus on yourself, reevaluate what's important to you, love and respect yourself, and the rest will come, I'm 29. And I thought, okay, by this time I'd probably be, married or something. There is no time. Take the time that you need. Society puts pressure on getting married and having kids at a certain age. If you don't want to get married, if you don't want to have kids, that's totally fine. Just embrace yourself. But I think the best thing I can say is love yourself first and really take time out just for yourself.
Awesome. That's a great way to end this podcast. So, had so much fun.
Yeah, dude.
Got fired up a little bit. It's been a while since I've gotten fired up like that on the podcast. But
now you get some pizza.
Yeah, now it's time to go eat. That's why I probably got heated. I haven't eaten all day.
I know.
And
Maybe
I'm starving.
Maybe that's the beta, though. You just got to starve yourself.
And then last night all I had was dinner, a single life problem. The only thing I had for dinner last night was beef jerky and pretzels. So.
Oh, fuck, that's depressing.
I know, right? Yeah, I didn't really like leaving the house. So, it was so much fun having you on here.
I had a great time.
And I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to watching your real estate career take off. And I know you're in the perfect hands. And I know this won't be the last time we chat.
Yeah, I appreciate it, dude.
All right, until next time, guys. Peace.
Bye.